Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to I Can Relate, the podcast where we embrace the messiness of life and still make it work. I'm Talisha Marie and I have some company today, y'all. And I'm gonna let my two guests introduce themselves.
Okay. Hello, guest of T. Marie. My name is Sunita Mitchell. Some people, AKA Ann. If you know me by Ann, you know me. Hi. I am honored to be here today to just talk about the topic that you've given us to talk about. I'm looking forward to just enlighten some people. Okay.
All right, I hear you. Well, my name is John Payne, and AKA JP. But anyway, it's a pleasure to be here today. I'm just ready for this ride and this journey. Whatever questions you're going to be throwing on us today.
Okay. And the topic today, y'all, is going to be about the pressures of Valentine's Day and the pros and cons of when you're in a relationship, you're single, or even in a situationship. So we're gonna kind of give our input because we've all got different walks of life that we can kind of say, hey, I've been married, I've been divorced, I've been single, I've been in the entanglement. We just gonna be able to give our opinions on, you know, how we feel about Valentine's Day. So we're gonna do an icebreaker before we get started. And the question I have is, if your love life had a theme song right now, what would it be?
Nobody's supposed to be there by Deborah Cox.
I love this song.
I love it.
I love this song.
Nobody's supposed to be there. When you think, you got it all under control and life is just going, and all of a sudden, how'd you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here.
Right,
so
right.
that's mine. That. That's mine.
Okay.
That's a good one. I guess my love life. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you a title of a song, and I don't know if this is actually a song or not. But what comes to my mind is, how are we gonna work this thing out?
That's a slogan. It's not a song. You heard about it.
How are we gonna work this thing out?
All right. Well,
trying to make it work. Trying to make it happen.
Especially these days. That's so true. I think mine would be, I don't know if I don't really know the name of it, but I know the words go like, hey, Mr. Sexy Man, what your name is? What your name is? I just like that song. And then when me meeting somebody, and I don't really approach men, so when I see them and they sexy, what your name is?
You want them to approach you, huh?
Yeah, I do. I can count on one hand how many times I've approached a man. As far as me,
I got you.
Hook up.
Yeah, to hook up or whatever. Okay, so we did the icebreaker, and we're going to talk about the Valentine's Day hype and pressure, how society, social media, marketing can create these like unrealistic expectations. And, like you see on social media, people going all out, getting these planes to go across the air saying, will you be my Valentine? Or you see the people that's just doing this extraordinary stuff with the hotel rooms and just going over and beyond, and it's like a lot of pressure for the people that really don't do that. And they feel like, okay, I got to do something. I got to make my stuff look good for my person. So, people can like, view, you know what I'm saying? So, do y'all feel any pressure, or have y'all ever felt, whether in a relationship or outside of a relationship, just dealing with somebody?
First of all, I love love. I love love. And so for me, Valentine's Day is it's special. It's special, and I like for my significant person, be it my husband or be it situationship, tangleship, whatever, all of the above. I want them to feel the love. I like going all out. Now, Now, if I had a budget where I put a plane across, I do that. I'm not beyond that. I would do that.
Okay.
But I like my person to feel Valentine's Day. I want to make their Valentine's Day special. So I'm good for the, let's go to dinner. Here's your gift. Here's your card. I want the card to say what I want to say. It's not something I just haphazardly pick up. I put a lot of thought into it. I'm a detailed person, so I've already paid attention to the person, so I know, what's, so I don't feel any pressure because I just love Valentine's Day, and I always try to make it special. And if I'm not involved with anybody, then, and it's no big deal then. It's not like, oh, I need to have somebody, I don't know what to do. And I don't even say I do it for myself. If I'm not involved, I still don't think, oh, let me go take myself to dinner. I'm not one of those ladies that have to, let me take myself to dinner, let me buy myself a gift, all of that. But if I'm involved, their Valentine's days are going to be special.
Right. That sounds good. So what would he have to do to make you feel American?
That's all right.
Okay. And you know what? And I'm a simple girl. I am. And I would, and just, gifts, dinner, time at home, spending time alone, and we can be at home and we can watch as long as we're together, I like my men to be able to be quiet with me.
Gotcha.
So it didn't have to be anything fancy, but I'll take a diamond, though, girl.
Hey now.
I'll take a diamond.
Me either.
So, girl's best friend.
Right.
I'll take a special gift.
That's really interesting because I guess Valentine for me it ended up being a special time because when I was married, Valentine's Day, and believe it or not, my birthday is on the 13th.
Oh, wow.
Valentine's Day is on the 14th, of course. My anniversary was on the 12th.
Okay.
So 12, 13, 14. So for many years, Valentine was special. You had all these days came boom, 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 boom. I love that particular time to be able to share, as far as simple things, like you say, going to dinner. And of course, like now, like what you're saying, they, with Facebook and all this, the pressure for, other people. And I know sometimes I've been like in Walmart or somewhere, and you see all these people, especially men, last minute running, trying to buy can. And
you can tell when them be last minute gifts too.
And so that's pressure.
Yeah.
I've never been there. I don't go that way. And I think people that, why you got to, I think you should show your affection and your love for a person through the year. And then and so when Valentine's Day come, you can do something special, but it don't have to be just way out, unless you got that way out money, ain't no problem. Yeah. They said, hey, go and get a plane and fly across, a helicopter, let's send up a bunch of balloons and all that, but I think it's a simple thing. I think women, and you all are women, y'all know, sometimes it's just that little simple, unexpected thing that they make.
Flowers.
And then, so when you do that before Valentine, that makes even more impression.
Yeah.
It's just like, you bring some flowers before Valentine, not even in February. In January, you bring some flowers in the middle of the month and say, baby, so what these for? I said, I just wanted to tell you I love you, and just show. I think it have a more greater impact than waiting till Valentine's Day.
And I think with giving that, I mean, if your audience can't tell, we are not 20. We're not 20.
I'm 35.
We're not 20. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're not 20. So we have experienced a few Valentine's days.
Yes,
and,
sure.
And so the pressure of social media doesn't, is not as great as it would be if we were younger.
I agree. I think it's the younger generations and even my generation. I feel like, because I'm 41, so what I see online is competition to me. I feel like it's only a small percentage of the ones that say every day is Valentine's Day for me. I don't believe it. I don't believe it from the actions when you posting and your reactions to it. I just feel like they got a one up on the friends, and they just have to have this image for Facebook, for the views, and because that's what everybody's about. They want to just post to go viral, and behind closed doors, you probably was late on your rent trying to, show up, show out. Right, right. So for me, it's not pressure. I like to look at the pictures. Oh, that's nice, that's pretty, and stuff like that. But for me, I'm single, so it don't make me feel like, oh, I need to make sure next year I got a man so I can, you know what I'm saying, for him to be able to show off for me or me for him. So I don't feel the pressures of it. But a lot of people feel the pressure, and they feel like that they got to keep up. So, just.
And that's commercialism that goes down with all that too.
Yes. Yes, the marketing and.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. We don't know many times where Valentine's Day came from. Do you know where it came from?
I really don't.
It came from a guy named Valentine. He was in this particular country where, I don't know the details of the country and all that, but he was in this particular country, and this ruler had a whole thing against people getting married and stuff like that, and prisoners and stuff. And he was the person that cared for folks, and his last name was Valentine. And the deal was is that he started marrying a lot of prisoners and stuff, and in secret. And this ruler didn't want that to happen. And so this ruler called him in and arrested him, and eventually killed him as a result of him marrying people.
Oh wow!
And so they named, and when they killed him, it was on the 14th of February, and they named it that day Saint Valentine.
Damn, you done dropped a little knowledge on us. Okay.
He was picked up because of Saint Valentine.
And I get that.
Yeah, and so it was a day that showed that love that he had and cared for people, even to marry people, as well as he was a humanitarian. He cared for people in other ways, as far as giving people food and stuff like that. Yeah. And so it takes on a meaning, not only the love meaning as far as, marrying women and men, but also caring for people. So it's a time that you can share and care for people in other ways than just, the ideal of, you saying, I love you, here go a box of chocolates.
Yeah, okay. So, with you all three of us being single now, or, have you ever, in the time you've been single, felt left out when you do see it on social media, or your close friends or family, they got a husband or wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, and they just celebrating? Have you ever felt left out before?
Yes, especially since after being married for 18 years and then transitioning from that. It takes time to return to the new normal after being married, for 18 years and then being single. So, and then so I would see the husbands and the wives, dressing up and going to dinner, or just, hanging out, or just at the house doing the simple things or whatever. So yes, it was not a feeling of left out, like woe is me, but I don't have that. I don't have that. So it's it was just, that was the statement that I would make. I don't have that. Yeah. So, but it wasn't a woe is me, sad, or some type of depression. But I said, I would say, I just said I don't have that, and it wasn't even I don't have that anymore. Anymore wasn't in my statement. It was just I don't have that.
Don't have that.
Yeah. So yeah, I've experienced that, and it's gotten better over time because, like I said, it's the new normal. And now that I'm beginning to have some options, so it's not so much I don't have that now. It's kind of like, well, I really don't want that.
Yeah, you're choosing not to have that now. You're choosing. You got a choice.
So yeah, it has changed, but in the beginning it was.
Okay. I guess with me is that, if I'm dating someone at that time, then there is a concern to show Valentine gift or whatever you're gonna do. But if I'm not, then it's no pressure on me. Now, one thing that I have two daughters, and I started when they was little kids, is that I give them something on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I just want
and so so that have continued, so there's just a way of expressing, that, hey, your dad loves you.
Yeah.
You grown, but your dad still loves you.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
so from that perspective, I keep it alive. Keep that day alive for me.
That's a good way. I feel like I probably had a time or two that I felt like, oh, I'm left out, or it get me to thinking like, why don't I have a man? Or why did I act that way with that man? And it'll make me reevaluate myself. But I wouldn't necessarily say maybe left out. Just I need to reevaluate some things. Maybe it ain't them. Maybe it is me. So yeah, I don't. I just feel like I just need to probably change a couple of my ways because I can admit it ain't always the man. It's not always the man, and I can admit that. With self growth and just learning myself and taking time for myself, I know that I got some things I need to work on.
And I guess communicating to others becomes a real and other. Then you got this man women communication. I said dog, you hear cat. Sometimes we don't, and so just learning how to communicate, and so, but we have to learn how to love ourselves, and it's still a real big key, but that's life. Life is, and we mature. So so sound like you maturing. In the process. In the process. And if that fellow really wants you, don't worry, he will be back, and he will, he would do what's necessary. He would do what's necessary and find out what's necessary because it's the man that finds the wife.
Hey now, I believe that.
Same favor from God.
And the man like to pursue. And if you pursue him too much, then sometimes it won't work quite right.
And you know what I heard? I heard this guy. I heard this. I don't know if it was a pastor, but I'm gonna say because it was about the scripture that you just mentioned. And let me tell you, you can tell me what you think about it. He said there are wives walking around everywhere. He said when a man marries her, that does not make her a wife. She's already a wife. That's why the word says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from God." He says she's already a wife. She's a wife. She's just walking around this earth. And I can and when I say that, I can relate to that because I know I've been a wife since I was a little girl.
Oh, okay. Now, and so this sounds like they're giving a whole nother meaning to the word wife. Yeah. Let me tell you something. My youngest daughter is a therapist, and we was in this conversation the other day, and she was talking about, what's so sad is that lots of time women, the validation of becoming, you're taught from a child to become a wife. And so it's like your importance is so much tied up into that lots of time you miss out on your purpose in life. You spend lots of time trying to be this woman so you can be somebody's wife. And because that's what's been put in your head so strongly that unless you become a wife, you're really not a genuine woman. And so it's a reevaluating, and not saying that that's not important, but I mean, but who you are. Let me put it this way: when you're married, the percentage of you being that wife or the percentage of you being that husband is not 100%. No. So your life is not all about you being a wife or all about you being a husband. So it's a lots of other things out there that's a part of you, and so you have to be very careful to just think that because I'm going to get married, everything is complete. I become a wife, everything. No. You're still a great part that you want to connect a certain part of your life with another person.
Okay. So, what about the myths that go with if you're single, you're lonely? How y'all feel about that? Y'all think that's true?
No, I don't. Now sometimes lonely is a negative term for me. Yeah. So if I'm watching a movie, and I want to be able to say, "Did you see that?" What? You want to be able to talk to them or bounce off of them or discuss it or something, or if you're out to dinner, you want to say, "Because something off your plate, can I have some of that?" Or you want to you want to roll over and have a joke. You want to tell a joke or something. So there are moments when you would want to have someone there, but not lonely. No, no.
Well, I had to come to grips that, and this has been a recent discovery because my wife passed a few years ago. So I had to come to the discovery that being alone is not necessarily being lonely. And I think sometimes people may relate being alone to being lonely. And so you have to put it in the proper perspective that, so that, and being married for a long time, sometimes you may hit stages, depending on your temperament, you may hit stages of being with somebody and still feeling lonely because you're not. So loneliness can hit all of us regardless of our relationship. So you can be lonely and be married, and you can be laying in the bed with your spouse right beside you. And you
still feel lonely. Wow, Lord, let me never have to experience that.
And that means sometimes they get up and go somewhere else.
And some people stay in marriages and still be lonely. I had a couple of people when I went through as I was going through the divorce. They actually said to me, "Lucky you." I was like, "Wow."
Well, they call you lucky you because you was going through divorce.
They married.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Yeah, and I was like, "Ooh, okay."
That says a whole lot, And that's when we had to feel good about ourselves, and we have to pull energy from ourselves to, because sometimes you put lots of pressure on the other person to make you feel happy or fulfilled.
Yeah.
And they can bring some of that to you, but that's not all. It's the things you enjoy doing also bring happiness and joy too. And you can't just think because I'm married or I got this guy in my life or I got this woman in my life, everything is just going to be honey, sweet, and all that.
They're going to make me happy.
I've been single for quite some time. Even though I had a person, but I wasn't in a committed, serious relationship or anything. And over the years, probably in the beginning, but that was probably a few years back, that I may have thought I felt lonely. But as the years has gone on, and if 1 year, hey, I'm dating somebody and I do get to have a Valentine's, okay. But lately, I've been these past couple of years, I'll say, I've gotten comfortable with being single. So none of this affects me. I don't mind being in bed on a Friday night and not going out on dates and stuff. I think that I've got to a point where I'm comfortable with being by myself, but I'm not lonely. I have fun. My fun is going to give me some good food to eat, scrolling on my phone, and maybe drinking some wine. And I'm content with being in the house. Or if I have to go out by myself and have a dinner, I'm content. So I just feel like I'm not lonely. I just feel like I've become comfortable with the situation right now. So I'm just like, it is what it is.
You can't. If you could, then of course we all would be where we want to be, whether it's monetary or whatever. But we can't. Yeah. So you just.
And that takes me to say self-care. Like self-care and self-love, that goes hand in hand. And so, like when I don't have a Valentine's, a man, hey, I go whatever my favorite food is. I order me some takeout. I like to run me a bubble bath sometimes. And this is just self-care. And whether my kids might have a Valentine's, they finna go out, they receiving gifts, and I'm happy for them. But me, what you gonna do, man? You ain't got no date or nothing? Nope. I'm finna eat me some good food. I'm gonna run me a bubble bath, have my wine sitting on the side of the tub, probably tell me some slow jams. I'm fine.
Yeah, love it.
I'm fine.
That's amazing. I didn't mean to cut you off, but seems like females learn how to take care of themselves better than men.
Okay, so
don't men always like I gotta have me a woman like
Yep.
I'm one that can be by myself. I don't have to have a person to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
But it seems like females do that better than men.
Yeah, and you know what?
I'm just asking you all on this.
In this new era,
Yeah.
Soft girl era.
Yeah.
That, you know, we want to be soft. We want to be in our feminism, or if that's a word. So we taking ourselves on dates, on trips. We doing it all by ourselves.
But you know what? And so being divorced 5 years and back out here in this dating world and seeing the single women, it's almost scary to me a little bit, niece. Yeah. She my niece, y'all. It's almost scary to me, niece.
We're single women. What you mean?
Because there's a lots of us that are super content without having a mate.
And
all age groups.
And that contentment comes from just hanging out with other women?
No, it's just a decision that they make. Some of them say they don't want they'd rather be alone than to have a man lying to them, or they'd rather be alone than to have to be, keeping up with a man. Sometimes some women, what I'm seeing now though, they pull in the negativity of having a man.
Okay.
Oh, he gonna lie, or he gotta be worried about he ain't coming home, or I gotta pick up behind him, or I gotta cook, or I gotta figure out what he doing, or they pick up the negativity of the reason that they don't have a man, aside from the companionship, the partner, the having that person, that male, to the female, Yeah. So when I look at now, I ain't talking about John. I'm not talking about 3 years, 4 years. I'm talking about women like, I've been like this for 15 years and I'm good. I've been like this for 20 years and I'm good. And I'm like, no, I don't want that to be my testimony.
I will hope to God I don't have to.
Do you think maybe the standards have lowered so much that and the other thing is that women are nurturers, and what I see, because I have a program I deal with boys. I've been doing it over 20 years, and so I see women and have started nurturing. They're looking for men that they can just feed stuff instead of letting men come in. And so as a result, you run across all the wrong type of men. And not so much you run across the wrong, but these type of men that chase you, the men that really, that's coming after you for the wrong reason. Coming after you for the wrong. And we got lots of guys in our culture. I don't know about other cultures, but in our culture, we got lots of guys that's on the wrong track. And they said that they haven't been mentored. Nobody hadn't showed them how to be a true man, or loving man, or whatever. But they use that as an excuse. And in some cases it's okay, but you didn't learn how to drive till you start getting behind the steering wheel, learning how to, you gotta. And so the same thing with relationships. You gotta learn how to and sometimes you gotta study that thing and figure it out.
So are women doing the work when it comes to being a female in a relationship, and we just don't have the men doing the same, and that's why they're 15 and 20 years in saying, you know what, I don't, no.
I think they started grabbing up a lot of men that don't mean anything. That all they want to do is hit it and quit it. They just want to get in and women. As a result, not all women, of course, when I make a statement like that, but I was talking to a lady last night. She said, "I've been dating the bad boys. I love the bad boys." And it said, the bad boys are, the guys that got whole lots of talk, whole lots of whatever, and that they excite your emotions and all that. And they are very attractive, but a lot of them, they ain't up to no good at all. So you hit one bad boy after another bad boy after another bad boy, and pretty soon you said, ain't no man out there, but all you dealing with is one style of man.
But we 60.
But still,
same thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, but it's some serious men out here, and those men, they're not going to be the one that's going to be coming after you a certain way.
The way that she used to.
Yeah. They're not coming after you like that. Those men, serious men are not going to come after you like that. They're not gonna come after you that way. And then you need to recognize that that hey, they're gonna come after you, treat you like a lady. They're gonna come after you, respecting you. they're gonna come from a total different direction. And you said where those men are.
But according to, and this is again, I'm only going by social media because I don't have a lot of single women that I deal with here back in Memphis that are my age. Most of them are still married, been married for years. But looking at all of the social media sites when they talk about, especially I think Michael Basin does a lot. These women are just saying, I don't want it. It's just like they're saying men are trash, I don't want it, and I'm good with it. 15, 20 years in, and because I was out of the dating scene for so long, because I was, and again being married 18 years, so when I was being courted and dated, before my ex-husband and I got married, we talking 20 years ago, we were still, dancing with each other in the club face to face, and I could say, hey, my name is Tanita, what's your name? Your name's John, and we could almost have a conversation on a song. So when I got back out here and saw that all of that was gone away, I even tell people all the time, you can't even meet anybody on dance floor anymore because everybody going in the same direction doing line dancing. And then you stop and try to say something to somebody and get ran over, and a lot of men don't get up and line dance. It's usually a lot of females.
One or two of them.
Yeah, so I'm looking at them and they're like, okay, we're okay. It's 15 years, 10 years, we're okay, and we don't, and people say we don't need a man. No, I don't need a man. I need a man.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Yeah. There's a difference. You can't do the dating apps. Apparently, and that guy said, even when he said that, he said that's the new way. He said we just have to embrace it. He said that's the new way.
Because you're gonna meet somebody.
I can't, and a lot of people have met and got married and all that.
Yeah, that's why I say to each his own. But I just feel like, I feel like social media. If you got a Facebook account, an Instagram account, or whatever, people are coming in your inbox and hey, you looking good, or I've been watching. I feel like Facebook is a dating app, so I guess to a certain extent, I'm already doing it.
Yeah,
I'm just not on one that is actually for dating and scrolling the profiles and picking who you want to click on and stuff like that. But I guess I kind of am in there, but I don't know if I could actually go and make me a profile on a dating app. I don't know, because I'm so afraid of people crazy.
Yeah, me crazy.
People crazy. I'm just gonna say, you just never know their true intentions, and which you don't know with anybody, whether you meet them in a grocery store, in church, you don't know anyway. But I just feel like you might just got some people just sitting on there just waiting for that moment. Get you alone and do something. I don't know. So I'm very skeptical about that. But I do have a cousin. She go on these dating websites. And she be meeting people sometimes. And she be like, I was on a dating site and she be like, you'll be surprised who I see on there. And so I guess more people than I know, are actually going on these apps. And they also have it for black people. Black people meet.
Y'all do meet them.
Yeah. But look, not me, because I just don't trust it.
And let me tell you this. This is a friend of mine in Houston, and she actually met her person on there, and they are now engaged, and it's gone pretty quick. But what her philosophy was, like, she lives on the south side of Houston. He lives on the north side of Houston. And he works in his area. He lives in his area. He shops in his area. He stays, and she does the same. And the philosophy that they both had is like, what are the odds that we would ever have crossed paths?
Wow.
And it's true.
So it's a good point.
That's true.
Now we are in new technology arena now, so I mean, hey, like folks, you say, hey, get on Facebook, get on this, see what's going on. So I don't know. I mean, I don't. But I guess since I'm a man,
So how do you meet women? Well, how do you meet your women if you date?
I got this auntie I like you to meet.
Okay, I get that.
So many of us are locked up. But at the same time, I mean, it's really just, and then when my wife passed, of course, being around, I knew lots of people, women, and stuff like that.
How long were you married?
Y'all really want to know?
I really was
46 years.
Oh Lord,
So,
mercy, that's a blessing.
Yeah, so being 2 years with her gone, it's very complicated for people to even understand you trying to deal with, people coming want to come into your life. But it's so you get invitations,
Invitations.
but and that's what I was telling you earlier before you called us here. I was like, well, how can I maybe break this down? And I came up with 3 C's, okay? As far as getting to know someone.
Okay.
You mentioned the first one the other night when we was talking when you asked me about coming to do this. And that is, first, you're looking for a companion, somebody that you can just spend time with and just maybe go out to dinner or go to the movies or go to the park or go to a concert or whatever, and just to see that we're companion, just and nothing you ain't signed nothing to say.
I'm your man.
Yeah. It's somebody that and that's the first stage that I started looking at, and I'm reevaluating myself the last couple of years, and that was one. And then the next stage I looked at was compatibility. So even though you may go out and somebody, but you find out, they loud and cutting up constantly. They said, well, they said, well, can we go out again? You go out again? And you said, no, I can't go out no more with you. Okay. You don't really say that. You just have to, and then so you find somebody that's compatible, and that's the next step of what I really seen is that. So when you find somebody that's compatible, they got some of the same interests, and they have some of the same beliefs that you have. And the last C is the heavy one. Okay, commitment. It's close to that, but I use a word that's really deep and heavy that we hear in biblical terms: a covenant. And that covenant can be a covenant that you're my only girlfriend, okay? You don't date nobody else, I don't date nobody. That's one phase of a covenant. You can be that level.
Okay.
That's one step, Then the other steps, hey, the covenant, we're engaged. You want to be my wife, I'm going to be your husband. That's another stage of covenant. Then in the last stage, we're going to get married, we get married tomorrow. That, and we plan to do this for the rest of our life, how much longer we got it. Love language. Learning people's love language is so powerful. And that's how you nurture a relationship. And there's basically 5 things that they've come up with that they could consider a person maybe words, like say for instance.
Affirmation. I know mine. I know my love language. You know yours?
Let me go through the love language. You did.
I was wondering people do that because then the thing the reason I say that because people need to know what their own love language is.
Right.
Yes. And if they're interested in somebody, they need to learn what that person's love language is.
Yeah.
And another one, words of affirmation. People just need to be encouraged. They need to hear encouraging words. And then you have other people that love gifts. They like to give them gifts. It just oh baby, for a minute. You know what I mean? So, oh wow, it's exciting. And then service. A lot of women have service. You have a couple of them. You have affirmation and service. So I'm gonna take care of this. I'm gonna fix this. I take care of that. I got this ready for. Some people just and it express caring and love to them. And then the last 2 are time. Spending quality time. If I'm just sitting on the couch, all up on you, just time together, and then that touch. Some people like to feel touching. It's important to all of us. Some people they just holding hands. It's just touch, and so we have to know as you said, what our love language is, and that's how you nourish those stages from companionship to compatibility to a covenant that you may make, and then you got to have the love languages operating within that ingredients to bring you to a point, you know. And if you can't get past one of those stages, just say, you know, the rascal, let's go on and just let him go. He may have all these other things, but you know that I'm not compatible with this guy. All he want to do is play video games. All he want to do is talk about something that he's 6'6" and boy, he's, you know, but that's not going to make that relationship
it's not going to take it long. No, and I think as you talk about the self-evaluation, shining that spotlight on yourself. As I was coming out of the divorce, I had to look back within myself, and I always tell people that not that the marriage would have went a different way, but, in looking at self-evaluation, there were some things that I probably could have done different, and things that I know I will do different, in my next relationship. And one of them was actually paying attention to my love language, because I'm very nurturing. I'm nurture. That's why I say I've been a wife for a long time. I nurture quick, and sometimes it gets me in trouble when it comes to male-female interaction. I nurture quick, and it's because I want my special someone to feel the love or feel the like. So I bypassed me and what I liked and what I wanted because I'm simple. Yeah. But what I realized is that I never communicated my love language because I didn't know it was a love language. But I never communicated that throughout the marriage. And then when 16, 17 years down the road, when it's starting to change, now I'm realizing I'm not getting my love language. And now when I start to express it, it's like, huh? When? Kind of thing. So I now realize that as I go forward into the next relationships, the 3 C's, my love language will be communicated pretty quick, and I'll be looking for that. And sometimes, the conversation has to be had. And then other people have to be mature enough to say, and at this age, hopefully we can get some maturity in some men and women that they will be mature enough to say, well, you know what, I'm not a touchy-feely person. And then the other person, me, will have to be mature enough, 6'6", however many pounds, say, well, I don't care, I'm kidding anyway. I guess I don't need to be touched that much, but to be mature enough to know you can bypass it if you want to.
But you're going to eventually
hit it. You're going to hit it. So it's just something that has to be, know what you want and be able to communicate what you want, and then be mature enough, if that's not what you can even give to that other person. Be mature enough to say, well, you know what, acts of service, I'm weak in that area. Or if that person can tell you, what do you describe an act of service for me? Because we may be thinking it's something huge, and that person may be saying, I just want you to put, can I have my house shoes at the front door when I get home? But I think the love language is huge, and it does have to be expressed early on. And if that person is not doing it and said they're not capable of doing it, it's something that has to be really dealt with.
That's how we sometimes get ourselves caught up in situationships, relationships, because we think we can change. It boils down to that. You sometimes say, well, they don't want me now, or I'm going to try to change them, and we get stuck in these situations. And we look up and we've been in this situation for 2 years and we really ain't happy.
No, we just going along with the flow, and this thing, somebody done cheated, or somebody done came home and said, I don't like you no more, and or came home and the closet was empty, all kind of stuff, so.
Well, y'all deep.
So, we're going to spice it up just a little bit.
Let's spice it, girl, come on.
Little segment called Clutch Your Pearls. Just a little bit.
Nice, girl.
I don't know too deep.
That's all right. It's all right. I've been around a long time. I can go deep there.
Okay, so with Valentine's Day, since we're on that topic, how important do you think it is for the sex on Valentine's Day? Do you think that's so? Maybe you're kind of laid back, or maybe you're not really a sexual person. So, do you feel like, okay, I gotta go all out on Valentine's Day? I gotta put all in. We gotta turn up. So, do you feel like it's pressure on Valentine's Day to make it special, memorable, or just something different?
In And I can only talk about the long-term relationship I had because I haven't been in one since I've been divorced. It was not the pressure, but the expectation. I put it like that. But who I am now, it wouldn't be pressure, but it will be happening. But it will be something totally different. It wouldn't be our norm. It would be, whether it was a different type of lingerie or another different type of mood being set, or just something that's not the norm.
Yeah.
That would mark Valentine's Day. Girl, I remember Valentine's Day 2025. Girl, you remember when we, so it'd be something that I would want to be memorable. But at the same time, on the flip side of that, there's no pressure for it to be memorable. But I just really feel like, because I love love and I think Valentine's Day is special, yeah, it would be sex that day, that night, that day, that night, that evening, that morning, whatever. However many times you do it. Yeah.
Done?
Done?
I think as far as I know, men are visual, and when they look, when they look at a woman, they look at the visual aspect, and whatever they're attracted to, so I think sex is to men. Sex is like a priority when it comes to romantic times, but at the same time, a lot of times men don't realize that, it's the things that you do before sex that really attracts, that gets the woman really, feeling, and then, so I think some of the things that men actually do before and on Valentine's Day, it would be very important to and not just an hour before or whatever. It need to be, and that's when I was saying earlier, maybe days leading up to certain things you can do that special thing, even if it's just I got the coffee fix for you, baby. You in bed or something.
So what you saying is, depending on what you did all them weeks before, determine whether you gonna get sex or not.
No. What I'm saying, you gonna been about that special underway. You're gonna be like, this man been treating me so sweet.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be doing. You said I ain't gonna be doing nothing. It ain't been nothing.
Like, you been treating me rough all week long.
Now you want to be all lovey-dovey. Now you want to know my love language.
Don't it be hard? It's gonna be hard.
I still want to talk about what.
You fussing at me. You fussing me last night. You talking me come crazy. You called me because it's Valentine's Day. We supposed to.
And I guess my answer would have to be in a good, loving, healthy relationship. We handling the business. This is gonna be special. But if you got an ongoing sex life, with whoever the person may be, if you got an ongoing sex life, then Valentine's Day is gonna be great. Yes.
So, and depending on, and that's what communication. Sometimes, of course, you can surprise somebody with something, but it's good to kind of know what they may want, and that comes through communication, but as you all know, as females, then, a man is so visual. A lot of times you don't have to do a whole lot.
You don't.
You know what I mean?
Lingerie is for us. It's not necessarily
but you know what I mean?
I had a guy on a different show, and I asked him, from a man's perspective, is lingerie important to them? He said no. He said, well, we know what we're here for.
And it varies, but it can excite. It can excite with the right man and people in the right type of relationship.
Yeah.
Where a man is just he's not just after the sex piece, but he's after that. But when you add other things to it, it's just like wow, like they said, hey, it's like. Oh, she gonna get on the strip for me? Okay, all right,
Spice it up.
anything, and some men are not there because they just hit it and they're not foreplay or none of the other. They're not. And that's where if a person is selfish, it's hard to have a good positive relationship. And you can't be all about what's pleasing you. You got to be about what's pleasing the other person, and so that should take a priority, and then it takes the other person to have that same type of mentality,
Right. Yeah, so I feel that there's a gray area when we're in situationships, or you're single and you're dealing with somebody, whether it's just talking on the phone, texting, maybe going on dates here and there. I feel like it's a bit awkward when, especially the woman, because I feel like the woman is going to maybe bring it up like, are we doing anything for Valentine's Day? Like, I feel like it can get awkward. So, do y'all think that if you're in a situation like that, that you should expect to go on a date or maybe have a quiet night at home with that person? Do y'all think that you should celebrate it with that person?
Personally, for me, I don't expect anything, but it should be something. If it's a card, even if it's a Happy Valentine's Day, and I prefer not a text. I prefer to hear that person's voice. I prefer to hear that person's voice. So I don't expect anything, but there should be something. Because it is a day of love. Because if nothing else, we may be in a situationship, but you're my friend. We're friends. And as my friend, say to me, Happy Valentine's Day. And as my friend, if we've had, heavy conversations about what we want in a relationship, and we've talked about relationships, I think that it should be something. If it's nothing but a card, it should be nothing. No, now don't do nothing, because but I don't expect like dinner and a movie and perfume and stuff. And if they decide they want to do it, that's fine, because that's what they wanted to give me. But I don't expect it. But there should be something.
Okay, I can agree with that.
What you think?
Is that the man should be the one that actually gives that love or attention toward on the Valentine's Day thing?
I think it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. Well, I mean, if you're in some type of relationship, I think it's Valentine's Day is one of those days, almost like a person's birthday as well. And you should do something special. Of course, we're in the text world where maybe those in their 20s and early 30s, maybe they still texting, hey, I love you, or whatever, sending little emojis and all the other stuff. But I mean, I agree with you. If you're with someone and during that period of time, I think you should show some level of expression, if it's just a card or whatever, some flowers or a box of candy or whatever you may decide to do. And I just have discovered from just dating and not making no serious commitment to people, is that I have to be careful how I communicate to them. And unfortunately at my age, I had to start saying things like, I'm not looking at you being the only one right now. I'm dating other people. I'm not looking to get married. You have to make statements sometimes. And for me, this has become a very uncomfortable thing, but I have to say it because they force me to say it.
Oh, wow.
Some of them have stepped in the lane and said, I just met them before you may go and eat or anything. They said, well, it's been 20 years since I've been married. I'm ready to get married now, And so they're telling me already that,
if you not want to marry me, then don't even
Don't
Let's
waste
not even
time.
have dinner. So that's interesting to hear you say that as a man who's dating more mature women. You
Yeah.
know, they're so I'm hearing you say that some of them main goal is to get married.
Oh,
They're dating to get married. If you're not dating me to get married, then I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah. Well, and I understand it. I mean, of my age, I'm not gonna throw you in the boat with me, but of my age is that I understand it that you want to be spending lots of time with no guy. You want we got more time behind us than in front of us. So you don't really want to spend no time with, and then, especially if you don't went through 5 or 6 or 7, 8 guys. And they and you just seen how it just and even for a younger lady, same thing. It's like hey, so that need to be one of the things that's on the table.
So you gotta be moving quick. You gotta be moving quick. So okay, and I guess what I'm saying is that because relationship takes time. We talked about the companionship and compatibility, and so some time is gonna pass. So are people saying, okay, well, I'm gonna wait 3 months, and if something don't in 3 months, I'm not dealing with him no more. 6 months, or do they have a time?
And that's what I really don't know. I think women have a time, and that's understandable too. Because and I think lots of women have dealt with lots of guys that just have strung them along. The guy that realized he had, it's almost like if he realized he can lie to continue to get what he wants, he's gonna continue to lie.
At this age?
Yeah, at this age.
Wow.
And then, and some of them be wanting younger women too, so that's another part of it too. So it's interesting, but I mean, it's just so many of us, poor women. It's just lots of men out here. I mean, lots of women out here per man, and it's just sad. But then at the same time, you get the question: how many quality men out here, and how many quality women, and how many quality women out here. So I think if you start looking at that, then I think we may come to an equal medium.
I don't know. I don't think it's like this.
No. But it may still be more quality women than quality men out there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Y'all hear what I'm saying?
I think let me tell you this, and this is a conversation I've had, because a quality woman is a quality woman. All quality women look the same. And when I say look the same, we know how to treat a man. We know how to, we're classy. We know how to maintain a home. We know how to be happy. We know how to, a quality woman, we all have a lot of the same qualities, okay? And then you go to the physical. That's how you can narrow it down. Then you go to the physical, okay? And say out of the 10 quality women, you go to the physical part and you may narrow it down to about 5. 5 that have the same physical qualities that you're looking for. And then of that 5, you may connect with 3 of them, okay? But then now you have 3 quality women that you've connected with that you got to choose. Then what if you get into the part where what if I choose wrong? Because 3 of them are exactly what I want. But what if I choose wrong? Because a lot of times some of the stuff you may not realize that it was wrong until you get to that covenant part. And then you're like, dang, them other 2 was back there, man, So so to me, it's more quality women, and it may present a level of confusion for the man to choose.
Gotcha.
And so they just kind of hang out with the good quality women and go on a date and hang out with them and connect with them and have companionship with them, and then just kind of stay on that level because they're kind of getting what they want. But then I guess it's up to the woman then to decide, well, I don't want to deal with him now because he ain't trying to choose. But at the same time, if it ain't how much quality men out there, then you just gonna stay dealing with the quality man because.
I had to agree that it's a shortage.
Define love and happiness on your own terms.
Describe love and happiness.
Al Green, love and happiness. Make you want to do right.
Love and happiness on my own term. I'm going to say, just off the cuff without having to just really think a lot about it, love and happiness starts within me. It starts within me. And I want to share my love and happiness with someone that can receive it. And that can receive it and that can reciprocate. So I'm going to say love and happiness begins with me. And I just share it.
I agree. You know, I'm big on communication. So love on my own terms is just being open and readily to communicate and affection. You got them two things, communicate and you know, we can compromise and, you know, we can go far. We can do some things, you know, because
you gotta give a male perspective.
I gotta give a male perspective. Well, I mean, you know, from you know, and I guess you know, most of the time, like what you're talking about, we only come from where we are. So I mean, you know, love is love is one word, but love is expressed through many, you know, adjectives. You know, love is caring, sharing, long suffering, just patient. So love have a lot of definitions. I mean, a lot of meanings that really make what love really is.
With that being said, I think this wraps up this episode, y'all. I want to thank my guests for coming on. This was a great episode. They dropped some gems. I'm sure that this helped somebody, man or woman that's in a marriage, a situationship, or single, that this could have, you know, possibly helped somebody to either let go of a situation or pursue a situation. So I want to thank my guests for coming on today.
Thank you.
Anytime. This was great, niece.
Yeah, this was great.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day! Do something special. Make it about love. I love love.
So, with that being said, I'm going to get out this video. Drop down in the comments below if y'all agree with what they said, if y'all disagree. If y'all got a story to tell, y'all can email me at Relatableafpodcast@yahoo.com and tell me your story. If you want some advice from me or my lovely guests, just leave it in the email and I will get back to you and we will talk about it on a future episode. So be sure to subscribe, turn on that bell so you'll know every time your girl upload a new video. Give this video a thumbs up. If you love, give this video a thumbs up if it's for nothing else, okay? So, until next time, I'm out.